What's going on, everybody? I'm Marah,
And I'm Taz.
and welcome back to Sisters Who Kill. The boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine.
Our players this week are Kabria Arnold, our victim, Travis Jones, Kabria's boyfriend, and Gabrielle's boyfriend. And Gabrielle Brantley, our murderess.
Gabrielle Marie Brantley was born on April 30th, 1995, and her upbringing was pretty rough. She ended up in the foster care system. Her parents lost custody of her, and while she was in the foster care system, it really felt like nobody cared about her. Nobody was really guiding her. She was bounced around from place to place. But then when she was a teenager, when she was 17 years old, she found out that she was pregnant. But this didn't stop her. She was determined to still finish school. She was determined that she was going to make the best out of her life and give her child the life that she never had. So she graduated from high school on time. No matter what, she started working, and eventually she decided that she was going to go to college, and she enrolled at the University of Michigan Dearborn, and she wanted to be a nurse. And people always talk about like, oh, I want to be a nurse, but there are so many people that go to school for nursing that don't end up being nurses because nursing is actually hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Some would argue that it's more difficult than becoming a doctor just because you know everything, but you can't say everything. But it is a very difficult track. But she was very determined. Even at this time, she's working, she has her child, she has her own apartment, she's doing everything that she's supposed to do. And she got a man too. Ew, ew, ooh. And his name was Travis. Now, Travis Jones is 28 years old. He's 28 years old, not enrolled in college, but still hanging out on the college campus. There are so many people like that. So many people like that.
So many Travises.
There's so many Travises in the world, and they just be there, usually with a book bag too. There's so many they be at the school sitting on whatever the dummy version of the dummy wall is at that school with their book bag talking to everybody. So Travis didn't have a career. He had random jobs, but he wasn't like working. He had no like stability. And he isn't the best person. He definitely has a little bit of a track record for violent tendencies. Girl, one time there was a hostage situation, and the hostage was his mama.
See, the red flag was already hostage situation, but then it being your mom just took it to a whole nother level.
How do you have your mom as a hostage? They had to bring in like the negotiation team so that his mom would not be his hostage anymore. That's Travis.
That's Travis. Travis was many things, but faithful was not one of them. He wasn't one to be tied down. He could commit, but not to just one. You know what I mean? He liked to have his choice. And that's why he was also dating Kabria Arnold. Now, Kabria Alani Arnold was born on April 15th of 1998 in Detroit, Michigan. Her parents were Kirk and Diane, and she was the youngest of 4 daughters. Her other sisters were Paige, Tiffany, and Kiana.
That's a different way of spelling Kiana.
There's another Q without a U.
I don't like it.
Kabria was described by her friends and family as a jokester. She loved to make other people laugh. She was a silly girl. And she was also athletic. Her and all her sisters played softballs. 3 of them were pitchers and 1 played catcher.
Strong girls.
I mean, them softball girls be solid, don't they?
Solid. Them some solid girls. Strong.
They also all had black belts because their daddy didn't play that. He was like,
if I'm gonna have some girls,
I can only protect you for so long.
I mean, if he was a father and 4 girls, I can't be 4 places at once.
You know what I mean? He said, I wanted to feel good that as they went to college and they left the state that they would be safe. And I feel like a lot of times that's what you got to do as a parent. Like, as much as you want to save your child from everything, the best thing you can do is teach them how to protect themselves because you can't always be there.
Right.
Now, Kabria's family was very close knit. They always kept in touch. They always supported one another, especially on a softball field. Especially on a softball field. Now, Kabria, she was one of the pitchers in the family, and she made the varsity team her sophomore year of high school. Which, if your team is good, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I saw them be
That's the
like,
caveat. They be like, it's really hard.
like not everywhere,
If
but
the
yeah,
team sucks, it ain't that hard.
yeah. But sometimes if the team is like a good team,
Hmm.
you got to be
You gotta be
top
skilled.
notch. Yeah.
But yeah, she made the varsity team. Not only did she make the varsity team her sophomore year, but by her senior year, she was named team captain and won MVP for the season. She lettered for 3 years because she did not take a break. She was the tournament MVP. She won the Proud Strong Learner Award. She made the all tournament team. She made the all district team, which is what I'm imagining is I think we call it all state. So she made that team, which is it's again supposed to be like a real honor because you're supposed to only choose like a select few from your school to go.
Hmm.
She was also, and I'm imagining the Detroit Tigers are like her club team, but she was also the home run derby champion for the Detroit Tigers. So the girl could ball.
Yeah. It seemed like her and her sisters, they probably definitely
Yeah.
picked it up young.
And you got enough of them where somebody's on every base. You can practice your pitching, your throwing, getting there.
Dad was out there like, get your glove. I
Yes.
may not have any boys, but we get your glove.
Get your gloves. She graduated from Detroit Renaissance High School and was considered to be a standout athlete, of course. I mean, look at her accolades. And all this softball paid off because your girl got a scholarship. She got several scholarship offers, actually, to play at various colleges and universities. And she landed on Morgan State.
Shout out to the HBCUs.
And then she transferred to a school in Texas. And then that was pretty short-lived. And she ended up transferring to University of Michigan, Dearborn, as a junior. And as she's going to University of Michigan, her parents are like, okay, freshmen stay on campus, juniors do not. So unless you have an apartment or something you plan on paying for, you're going to stay here at the house.
Which is great. No money to spend.
No money to spend.
Right.
And I don't imagine like somebody focused in school and doing athletics, you don't have that much time to work anyways. So
No.
it's nice when you can have that ease of living with your parents and not having to juggle both. And her parents were so proud of her, which she's got a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, for sure.
She was majoring in public health and minoring in business, and she was working towards being a nurse also.
Here comes Travis with his book bag, not going to class. And they met on campus. They hit it off. It seemed like their romance was going really well. They dated casually, but Kabria was really focused on school. She was really focused on school, focused on sports. And when you play sports as a college athlete, it takes a lot of your time. And so being a student athlete really takes up everything. So she's doing that. She's also working at this grocery store. And even though her and Travis were doing well and they liked each other, she didn't have a lot of time for him. And Travis was okay with that because he was player from the Himalayas and he had Gabrielle on the side. Now, Gabrielle also had a lot going on. Like we said, she's working, she's got her own apartment, she's in nursing school, she's got her child to take care of. And Travis is doing the perfect balance of talking to Kabria, talking to Gabrielle. And when he's with Gabrielle, it seemed like things were going well, but Travis's temper, that temper was getting the best of him, and he was being physically violent to Gabrielle. She had to call the police on him because he choked her.
Mm.
And it's like, my question is where did it happen? It happened at my house. Did my child see it? And I'm sure it was detrimental for Gabrielle because she's actually really likes him, but he's abusive. And so while she's in nursing class, Gabrielle and Kabria meet. They're chit-chatting, they're not the closest of friends, but they have a couple of classes together. And Gabrielle's like, oh, girl, I'm dating this guy. He's da 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 da. And Kabria's like, oh, girl, I'm dating this guy. He's da 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 da. And they're like, da 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 da. She's like, da 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 da. Show me a picture of your man. Turns out they're both dating Travis. And Travis found some way of being like, yes, I am dating you both. I like you both.
He's probably like, have you felt neglected? Did I meet all your needs?
If I'm doing everything that I need to do, then why are we so upset, ladies? There's plenty of Travis to go around. Oh, Lord. So, Kabria and Gabrielle know of each other. They know that they're dating the same guy. They don't seem to be super excited about it, but they're also not very upset about it. They're not at each other's throat. It's just like, it's casual. It is what it is. We both like him. Cool. Even though they initially thought that they were in a monogamous relationship with him, it turns out they ended up being okay, question
Right.
mark,
Right.
with a polyamorous relationship. And then
it's like, how are we defining this polyamorous relationship, right?
niggas be saying they poly just because they want to be hoes.
You know what I mean?
They're
They be like, I'm non-monogamous.
like, you just learned that word off of TikTok, and now you're like, I can use that, and the ladies think that I'm so evolved. Nigga, no, you just want to fuck everything. So while he's doing that, Gabrielle finds out that she is pregnant. And so this is child number 2 for her. And when she finds out, she didn't tell Travis immediately. I think she was just trying to figure out what her next move was going to be. But she was kind of excited about this. Like, she wanted to have another child. She thought that her and Travis were in a good spot. But then unfortunately, she ended up miscarrying. And this took a big toll on her.
I'm sure.
You know, like, especially if it's somebody that you want to have a child with, you're at the age where if she got through having a child at 17 and is seemingly on the right path, I'm pretty sure she was like, I can take on another kid. I know where I'm at.
Mhm.
Maybe she had a little money in the savings. She wasn't too worried about it. Like, so she ends up miscarrying, unfortunately. And then Kabria finds out that she is pregnant. And Kabria hasn't told anybody yet, but she's also very excited
Mhm.
because I'm sure she didn't tell anybody yet because you're playing softball, you've got a lot going on, you're still living at your parents' house. But she tells one of her sisters and she's super excited. And her sister's like, okay, girl, I guess we'll figure out what the next move is going to be. She still hadn't told Travis just yet that she was expecting.
So it's November 10th of 2019. Kabria is having a regular day. She's went to classes. Now she's at work. Gabrielle is running some errands. She decided to stop by Walmart and pick up a track phone, a little pay to talk phone.
All it's got on there is snake and your minutes.
And your minutes, and you can't run the minutes out. And she makes a couple of calls from that phone to herself. Not sure why. But she then goes to Kabria's job.
Kabria's not expecting her.
Kabria's not expecting her, nor does Kabria ever know that she's there. Girl just sitting and lurking and watching. So Kabria ends her shift, all the while still not knowing that Gabrielle is there. Gets in her car, starts to make her way home. Gabrielle kinks up that engine and starts to follow. So, as we've stated before, Kabria and her parents, siblings, the whole family was very close. And obviously has a very concerned father. So he got a little system for his girls. Listen, I know when y'all supposed to leave a place and I know when you supposed to arrive. You check in and you check out with me. Hit the group
He a
chat.
daddy of 4 girls.
You know what I
He
mean?
got this shit down.
Hit the group chat. Let somebody know where you at.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives at home. He's expecting her to come home. She just finished her shift. She didn't say other. It's not like she can't go nowhere. If she said, hey, Dad, I'm going to be out, that's one thing. But she didn't. She suspect, hey, I'm headed home. So he knows it's going to take about 10, 15 minutes for you to get home. I see you soon. And Dad is so diligent about this. He has a planner. And on each day, he has each of his kids in a checkbox and he checks off when each of his kids have made it home.
I know that's right.
Like,
That's a good father.
You know what I mean?
That's a good father.
And he is checking off kids made it safe, kid made it safe, Paige made it safe.
He probably started that like when they started doing soccer. When they started doing softball, like as in the single digits, when their ages were single digits. And he just probably has the habit of keeping it up. Because thinking about it, Kabria is grown.
Mm-hmm.
She's still living in his house, but she's grown. So he technically
and she's the youngest. And he's checking off all 4 of them.
Yeah, so you don't have to do this anymore. But I think he just like,
they always gonna be my little girls.
They always gonna be my babies.
So
shout out to having a father.
I'm telling you, It sounds beautiful.
Ain't no nigga checking for me.
They tell their parents, this is going to be a reason why I'm late. This is why I'm not. But she wasn't supposed to be late. So she starts heading home. And I guess Travis, knows her schedule too. And decides to meet her at her house. So Travis is like, you know what? I too know that Kabria is getting off of work. And I would like to see her. So,
I wonder if Travis is like a homosexual. Like he's at her house.
but he doesn't go inside because the parents don't like Travis.
Oh, that's right. He can't be at her
He
house.
can't
He can't go
because it's not
spend the
her
night.
place. Right. She at her parents' house.
But also, you pulling up at my daddy will come out here and shoot you.
But I also think there's a part of her dad that's like, I know y'all are dating. I might not like you, but I know you're dating.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be welcome in my house.
But you can sit outside and wait.
And I don't even think the parents knew he was outside. Like, they're not in contact. They're not close or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's just out there waiting for Kabria. So Gabrielle takes her track phone and she then dials Kabria's number. And it's like, hey, Kabria girl, are you busy? I need to meet up with you right quick. I got to tell you something. I got to talk about something or whatever. And Kabria's like, I guess the location she gave ain't too far. I guess I'll pull over and see what's what.
Yeah. And she probably made it seem like I really need to talk. Like, because they know that they're dating the same guy.
Right.
Like,
I think there's some things you should know about Travis. Some shit, Or maybe she said she needs to borrow her nursing notes. Who knows, Whatever she did to lure her there.
right.
So they get to the corner of Pilgrim Street and Bentler Street. And they're talking to each other. And then they're yelling at each other. And it seems like in this conversation, Kabria lets loose that she is pregnant with Travis's baby. Now, it might not have pissed off Gabrielle before, but I'm sure there's a part of her that was like, that was supposed to be my baby. You know what I mean? Like,
She just lost his baby.
his baby. Like, not a baby. His baby.
And now you're pregnant with his baby. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's heavy.
If that would happen to me, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's
I don't know.
heavy.
That was my story. I don't know.
Like, us dating each other is the same thing, but like, having somebody's baby puts you at this different level in this
Right.
person's life, you know what I mean? And to have it snatched away and then given to somebody else.
Because
Probably
that's for sure forever.
You know what I mean?
Even if we're not even together forever, that's still for sure forever.
that person is in your life for if he worth a damn,
Yeah.
in your life forever.
Mhm.
That is the commitment. Fuck marriage. That's the commitment. So this kind of sets Gabrielle off. And next thing you know, she pulls out a gun and she shoots Kabria point blank in the head. Now, as Kabria is falling to the ground, a car drives by. What does Gabrielle do? Ducks behind a car to hide. The car passes. Gabrielle gets from behind the truck and shoots her 2 more times.
The girl was already down.
She already down, already dead, girl. You gonna throw 2 more in her for what? So after that 3rd shot, there's this neighbor upstairs, and he heard the fucking arguing. Okay,
Right.
and started peeping at the arguing.
Somebody like me, a neighbor like me.
Mm-hmm. Then saw Kabria get shot. Saw Gabrielle duck behind the car. Saw Gabrielle get back up and shoot her again.
Because those are also loud. Because it's like boom, silence while the car, boom, boom. You thought about that shit.
You know what I mean? You
thought
had
about-
time to
yeah.
sit there and be like, no, you spun the block on the shit and said, as if she wasn't already dead, you shot her in the head.
to make sure.
So after she shoots the 2 shots, Gabrielle gets in her car, she flees the scene. Neighbor looking out the window calls 911. Tells the operator there's a woman laying on the ground. She's been shot. Y'all need to come send some help.
So all of this is happening on November 10th of 2019. And while she is laying out waiting for first responders to get to her, her daddy is at home wondering why his daughter's not home. And he starts going into full dad mode, trying to figure out all the possible scenarios of why he hasn't heard from his daughter. He's calling her, he's texting her, not getting any type of response. And he's like, okay, like maybe she worked late, maybe she got locked up. Like, is she arrested? Is her car messed up? Does she have a flat tire? I need to go find my baby. He's straight into dad mode. Give this guy a gold star for being a good daddy.
Mhm.
And it's time is starting to dwindle down. It's getting closer to midnight. And her dad, Kurt, was like, we got to go find her. I'm going to just do the route from her job to here. I'm going to keep driving around. I need to go find her because if something bad happens, dad got to come and help. I don't know nothing about that, but now her job isn't far from their house. It's only like 3 miles. So he probably knows all the different routes to get to her job at the grocery store. And he drives around and then he sees at an intersection that she definitely would have been on, there are ambulances, there are police officers, there is caution tape. And so I think his just mind jumped into got to figure out what's going on. He jumps out and finds out that he jumps out of the car and then sees that the vehicle is his daughter's vehicle. And I'm sure he is like,
No, 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 no,
oh
no,
my
no.
gosh, like the worst case scenario what that he was coming up with his mind wasn't this. Like he probably thought that the worst case scenario is that she did something crazy and got locked up and he gonna have to bail her out. Not that he's seeing all the type of first responders around her vehicle. So one of his other daughters are in the car and they're like, oh my gosh, it's the family pickup truck. They go, it's taped off. And Kabria's dad just runs to the scene. I don't know if anybody tried to stop him. Sir, you can't get past here. But he ran over there and he immediately saw his daughter face down on the street. And I'm sure that this was like the shock of his life. There's nothing like seeing your child in a pool of blood on the asphalt. And I'm sure that that is not what he wanted to see. But now seeing it, he's not sure what to do next. So he's talking to the officers. They confirm that this is his daughter. He's able to identify her. And Diane, her mom, just collapses on the ground because it's your baby girl. It's literally your baby girl on the
Literally.
ground, face down, and you know she's dead. And you know right there is no saving her. Daddy is in daddy mode. Tell me what happened. What's going on? How can I be of help? This is her schedule. I can tell you exactly where she was supposed to be, where she came from, what she's been doing for the past week. So let's figure out what is the next step so we can find out what happened to her.
Mm-hmm. So the police begin their investigation and they're like, let's try and figure out what would be the motive for somebody to kill this young lady. And so they start, looking at the area that they're in and they're like, this area is known for a lot of carjackings. Maybe somebody was trying to steal her car. Now the car is still there, but maybe during the struggle, Kabria made noise, they got spooked, they left. Like maybe they didn't finish jacking the car because block got hot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They look closer to her body and they see that she's been shot a total of 3 times, once in the head. There's shell casings at the scene, and they see that she's killed with a 9mm handgun. The man who called 911, he obviously don't live far because he saw it. He talks to the police, and he's telling and describing what he saw. He says he was just watching TV when he heard the people arguing outside, and then arguing turned to gunshots. He says when he heard the shot, he ran to the window to see what was going on. And that's when he sees Kabria on the ground beside her truck. He also sees a woman hiding behind the truck as a car passes by, and then sees that woman shoots 2 more times. And he says, and that's when he called the police. So got this eyewitness account, and they're like, that doesn't really sound like a carjacking. It actually sounds like, because they got into an argument first, that maybe this is somebody that she... From there, they're talking to Kabria's family. Let's answer some questions. Let's get a feel for who possibly could want to hurt your daughter. Of course, they coming up short. First of all, my daughter's amazing. It's a blessing for you to have her in your life.
Her resume speaks for itself.
You know what I mean? But Paige has a little secret. She lets the investigators and her parents know that Kabria was pregnant.
Which it's like,
that's so many feelings, like a double loss. Oh my God, my daughter's pregnant. Like, you don't even know how you would have felt, because now you probably give anything to have that baby in Kabria.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
a lot of feelings coming with that. She explains to everybody that she found out a few weeks ago, and Kabria actually had plans of telling them the next day.
and I'm sure Paige was like, so we had this whole big thing.
A whole thing planned out.
We were going to do like a viral moment of telling you guys, and I guess that's not going to happen.
And so the detectives ask the next rightful question: who's the father of the child? To which Paige responds, well, it's Travis. They're like, tell us about Travis. And they're like, Travis.
What can we say about Travis?
It was like, how do you feel about Travis? He's a good guy. And they're like, he's not our favorite. Why is that? Nigga ain't got no job. He about 8 years older than Kabria, still hanging out at college campuses. He don't got no drive about himself. He hop from job to job when he has a job. He ain't develop a trade or nothing. He has no goals in life. And now he done knocked up our daughter. Like, what's to like about Travis?
And while they're telling everybody about Travis, Travis pulls up to the scene. And I'm just thinking about Kabria Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just the type of person that we are
Building
shaping her
him to
to
be.
And I'm sure her daddy was like,
Just the
let me go
last
walk away
nigga.
before I end up going to jail tonight. Travis pulls up. Nobody called him. Nobody told him what was going on. Apparently, Travis was sitting outside waiting for Kabria to show up, realized that she wasn't showing up, looking at the time saying, where the fuck is my girl? And so he too started doing the 3-mile route from her home to where she was working. And he too saw all the first responders. And he said, oh my goodness, is this Kabria? And then he too walked up and saw the truck and saw Kabria on the ground. And they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're Travis? He's like, yeah, I'm Travis. I'm here because I was looking for Kabria. And they're like, oh, well, we've got a lot to tell you, sir. Or do you have a lot to tell us? He's like, I ain't got nothing to tell you. I ain't got nothing to tell you at all. But if you have something to tell me, I would love to hear it.
Can you feel me in?
And they tell him that Kabria has been murdered. And they look for his reaction. And his reaction is like distraught. He sits on the side of the street. He's breaking down. He can't believe that she's dead. It just doesn't make sense to him. And they're like, so tell me why you're here. He's like, well, I mean, I was at her parents' house. We didn't know he was there. I was sitting outside. You know, y'all don't like me. I was sitting outside and I was waiting for her to come home. And they're like, listen, we need you to come down to the station. This your girl. You just pulled up. Your girl is dead. You're the spouse. So you know how this goes. We need you down at the station. He's like, whatever y'all need. Y'all need me to come down there? Sure. Y'all want a statement from me? Sure. He goes down to the station. They're like, are you willing to talk to us? He said, yeah. I don't need no lawyer or nothing. I ain't got nothing to hide. What y'all need? Anything to help solve this case. So they're like, okay, well, we would like to have your phone. You know, phone holds a lot of information. He's like, take it. Whatever you need. Again, I don't care. Tell me about your relationship. He said, oh, our relationship is great. I mean, we don't have no issues. We don't have no fights. Nothing is really going on. And they were like, so did you know that Kabria was pregnant? He said, excuse me, say what? They were like, yeah, Kabria was pregnant with your child. And he said, nah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know anything about that. And they were like, how do you feel about the fact that she's pregnant? He's like, to be honest, I'm not in a good place to have no kids. Like, I ain't got no job. I ain't got no money for real. You know, I'd be on the college campus, but I ain't taking no classes. So it's not like I'm in a space to be a father. And I don't really know if I'm father material. Don't really care to be a father. But just because I don't want to be a daddy don't mean I'm a murderer.
To which, nigga, how you don't want to be a daddy and then got 2 women knocked up?
He don't even know that he got 2 women knocked up. How do you not want to be a dad? And you're not using a condom with either one of these girls. You're just pulling out and praying. Pulling out and praying is how I ended up with a baby. Okay.
That's absolutely how she ended up with
That's
a baby.
exactly how I ended up with a
Talking
child.
about how? Well,
There's
friend.
only one way.
Friend.
There's only one way. And so that's when he's like, well, you know, Kabria not my only girl. I love her. I mean, we're great. Great relationship. But I got another girl too. Her name is Gabrielle. And they're like, Gabrielle? Well, tell us about Gabrielle. He was like, oh, you know, Gabrielle is cool. Does Kabria know about Gabrielle? As a matter of fact, Kabria does. Gabrielle and Kabria, they are tight as...
Everything cool.
Everything is cool. Everybody knows about everybody. There's no jealousy. I'm living a great life. I mean, he probably feels like that nigga, but you are not. Because you have no money to support these 2 women. How? And he's like, I mean, it's great. There's no jealousy. It's like a polyamorous type of situation. You know what I'm saying? And the detectives are like, okay, answer this for me. Do you own any weapons? He's like, yeah, I own 2 guns. They're like, "Okay, well, what type of guns?" He tells us one gun. He's like, "I also own a 9mm handgun." Really? Now, she was killed with a 9mm handgun. And he's like,
Not my 9mm
"No,
handgun.
not mine." And they were like, "Well, are you willing to let us search your apartment and seize your gun just to double check?" He said, "Sure, go ahead. I ain't got nothing to hide." So they go, they search his apartment, they do confiscate both of his weapons, and they still arrest him on suspicion of murder. And I'm sure he's like, "What the fuck? I gave y'all my guns, I gave y'all
I ain't
my
been nothing
phone,
but
I'm giving
cooperative.
y'all forensic evidence, I'm giving you everything to tell you that I'm telling the truth, and y'all still lock me up. It's hard being a black man out here."
I'm telling
And so
you.
then he's detained, and police are continuing to question him, and they're trying to get him to confess that he was involved in Kabria's murder. And he's like, "I have nothing to do with it."
Mhm.
And he said, "Maybe y'all should talk to Gabrielle. I mean, they was cool, but she's the only other person involved in all of this. So maybe that's who you need to talk
Talk
to."
to anybody but me, because I done said all I got to say.
And so now they're like, "All right, maybe we do need to find the third in this throuple, Gabrielle."
So APB is put out for Gabrielle. And she's found, she's brought to the station. And just like Travis, she's very cooperative. Oh, yeah. I
We
know Gabrielle.
besties.
Yeah, we do nursing school together. You know she dating Travis? I know.
But that's my good sis.
We cool. We worked it out. So they were like, okay, well, she's been murdered. You mind telling us where you were at the night of the murder? She was like, well, me, I was at home nursing. It's hard. Got to study. And it was like, because, thinking maybe you could have been jealous. Me, jealous? No. Had nothing to do with her being murdered. Of course not, right?
We are
So
cool, copacetic, thruple.
everything's fine. They was like, so y'all have never had any issues dating the same guy? And she's like, I'm not gonna lie. At first, we know he was dating the same guy. But when we found out, we talked about it. We agreed that we was both gonna keep seeing him. And that was that. And so they was like, so this didn't create any issue. And just like Travis's story, Gabrielle saying, no, no issues, no rifts. Everything stayed smooth. In fact, she says, it brought them closer together. She
Just
said,
the truth. The truth just made us feel so tight.
she says, after that, we weren't just classmates. We started hanging out, going to the movies, bowling. We kick shit. So the investigators are like, it would be very beneficial to us to help clear your name if you hand over your phone and let us search your phone records. She says, I would, but I lost my phone.
They said, "What?"
Girl, girl.
Please.
It was like, on one hand, you could have lost your phone because it does happen. But on the other hand, it's awfully convenient. It's awfully
It's
convenient.
2019. Like, if you lose your phone, you go on and get another one.
That's why,
Everybody uses their phone for everything.
that's why she got the trap phone, girl, because she lost it.
No,
Listen,
they didn't even know that trap phone was hers yet.
what if she got the trap phone because she lost it and she called herself 5 times because she's trying to find her phone?
You reaching. You are reaching.
She says, I cannot hand over the phone. I cannot hand over the phone because I do not have the phone. It was like, well, would you be willing to let us search your apartment? And she said, yeah, you can search my apartment. So they're not finding anything at the apartment. They don't have bloody clothes. They don't have the weapon. Coming up empty. They are like, your phone, your phone. Can you back up your phone? Can you do this? Can you do that? And she's just like, well, I just don't have
I
it.
don't know anything about technology.
I just don't know. And so the investigators are like, you know what? Let's get a subpoena. Let's get a subpoena for her phone records, use her number, and see what we can find off of that.
Because all I need is the phone number.
So, although this is a timely process to get a subpoena, then go through the records or whatever, but they don't have anything to hold her on, so they let her go. Now they're looking into Gabrielle. They're looking into what she says about her relationship with Kabria, and they're like, let's just see if we can corroborate this. So they run it by her parents and sisters, and they're like, Kabria don't know that girl for real. They're acquaintances at best.
But this ain't her bestie.
Right.
This ain't her college
They're not
friend.
hanging out all the time.
Right.
No. This is weird to detectives because not only is Gabrielle lying about the nature of the relationship, but so is Travis, apparently, because he's making it seem like everybody's good, one big happy family. And that's just not the case. Nobody's got beef, but nobody's super close either.
Right.
So then the detectives, they start looking into the surveillance cameras around Kabria's job. Let's see what her last moments were like. And as they're looking, they see a red Toyota Camry following Kabria hours before the murder.
And
Like
and it's following her 4
4
hours.
hours. Like from school to work, at work, to home. Like
Somebody stalking her.
she's getting stalked. And it's somebody driving the same car as Gabrielle. They're like, okay, this is giving us a lot of suspicious things. Like, one of these people, maybe even both, got to be involved.
They're talking to Kabria's family and they're just in shock. Like, her mom is like, this is my girl. Like, this is my baby. This is supposed to be the person that's going to take care of me. Kabria's sister sets up a GoFundMe to raise money for her expenses, but also to raise awareness about everything that's happening. And in the GoFundMe, she says, Kabria Arnold was a genuinely loving, bubbly, giving, beautiful spirit with a bright future ahead for her. Kabria's energy would light up every room she walked in, and she always left others with a lasting impression and smile. Kabria was extremely giving and often gave her last to make sure her loved ones were okay. Kabria was a student athlete studying to become a registered nurse because she loved to help others. Kabria was genuinely loved by her family and friends and will truly be missed. She leaves behind her mother, father, 3 sisters, and 4 nieces. Their word grandchildren. Her family greatly appreciates all condolences and monetary donations to go towards her final expenses and homegoing service. And her family is grieving, but the police are still working. So on November 18th, they bring Gabrielle in for a second interview. And they're like, okay, girl, y'all said that y'all were friends, but her family says that they don't really know you like that. So what's going on? And she's like, and they're like, okay. And we also see this car following Kabria, and this red Toyota Camry look a lot like your red Toyota Camry. And Gabriella's like, it may have looked like my car. It may even been my car, but it wasn't me in the car. I have nothing to do with her. I have nothing to do with anything that this has going on. And they're like, we're going to arrest you, just so you know, on suspicion of murder, because things are getting very fishy very quickly. So the next day, after she done sat in jail for a night, she says, okay, yeah, it may have been my car. Yeah, it may have been my Toyota Camry. And yeah, maybe I was in the car. But just because I was in the car don't mean I did anything. Just because I was following her around, it wasn't even following her around. It was just a coincidence that we was going in the same place. I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? And they were like, but your car that you now say that you were in was following her around, and we also saw your red car at the crime scene. She also says, when I was riding in the car, driving the car that you see following her around, that wasn't following her around, that just happened to be a coincidence. Travis, he was in the car with me too. And they're like, oh, really? And she was like, mm-hmm. And Travis, when we pulled up, Travis was the one that had a gun, and Travis may have shot her. And I left the scene, me and Travis. And they were like, okay, so Travis and you were at the scene. You're not really helping your case much because we already have you arrested on suspicion of murder. And even if you were just the getaway driver, you're going to still be in trouble. Take her back to the jail. Now, Travis is still in jail. And now this girl is putting him in it. But luckily, Travis's phone records came back. GPS shows he wasn't there. Phone calls show he wasn't there. And
it's got him planted outside the parents' house.
Exactly where he said he was going to be. And so they're like, okay. Then Gabrielle's phone records come back. Her records were nowhere near the crime scene at all. And they're like, okay, we know that she was in that car, but her phone records are not showing that she was in that car. So maybe she was trying to establish an alibi and she left her phone at home. Maybe she was trying to be a little sneak attack. They also look at her phone records and see that she's got 5 calls from this one number. Who is this person? Trace it back. It's that track phone. Now, track phone can't tell you who called who, but they can tell you where the phone was bought from. They could tell you a couple of different things. So they find out that the phone was bought at Walmart. And this Walmart is in West Detroit, which is a few miles away from this murder. And they could tell from the track phone that the track phone was around the area when the murder took place. So your phone may not have been there, but according to her, she lost her phone anyways. But a track phone was there. So now they need to figure out who the track phone belongs to. And I'm sure the investigators are like, it's got to be Travis, right? Like, they
Her
still
and
think
Travis
they still think
plotted
it's the
this.
boyfriend.
Travis is just parked outside Kabria's house to establish his alibi and sent this girl to do his dirty work.
Exactly. And and everybody thought that they were smart, and that's why they got the track phone. But they still are really convinced that Gabrielle was like the damsel in distress while Travis was the mastermind. That's what they're thinking.
They're also playing with the idea that maybe Gabrielle isn't lying and Travis is in the car with her. He just left his phone in his car at the parents' house.
Trying to say, they at least were thinking, somebody in this scheme was thinking about GPS tracking.
You know what I mean? And they're like, because the big question that they have is, why is Gabrielle calling her phone 5 times?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, it must be Travis with the track phone. But Gabrielle bought the track phone. Gabrielle said she was at the crime scene with the track phone. So then they're just like, you know what? You know what's really going to tie it all together? You know what's really going to lock Travis in? When we get that ballistics report.
Yeah, it will.
And they turn out that it's going to be Travis 9mm.
Yeah, it will.
They get that ballistics report. It is not Travis's 9mm.
Travis is like, let me out.
Free me. Free me.
Hashtag free me.
So it's not his gun. His gun was not the murder weapon. The shell casings don't match. It's kind of pulling Travis out of it. Like, as much as they want him to be in it, it ain't fitting.
Travis has said, I'm Bennett. I ain't in it.
So they said, Gabrielle, let's have one last conversation. We'll give you a plea for 20 years if you let us know how Travis was involved. And that's how convinced they are, that they done offered this girl a deal to please tell us.
They're like,
how
you probably were involved, but tell us how he manipulated you.
Right. Tell us how it was all his big idea, right? And she doesn't take the deal.
She says, I didn't kill my friend.
I didn't kill my friend.
This is my friend.
This
is my buddy.
I had nothing to do with it. It was somebody else. It was somebody else. And so with that, Travis is free to go. You are released. Now, Kabria's funeral was held on November 23rd of 2019 in Detroit. And while they're laying her to rest, Gabrielle and her lawyer are trying to figure out how to get this case dropped. So they're at like this pre-trial hearing. And basically they're trying to argue whether this case has enough evidence to go to trial or not.
Right.
And so Gabrielle's lawyer has the officer up here. She says, officer, you didn't find a gun, correct? Officer says, no gun. She said, didn't find bullets, right? No bullets. Did you find a detailed plan? Nope, no plan. When you searched her house, you saw no shoes, no clothing of interest, correct? That's correct. No shoes with no blood spatter? If she was right there killing her at point blank range?
Definitely would have seen something, right?
No. And so her lawyer is like, Judge, there is nothing tying my client to this woman except for this man. There's nothing tying her. I mean, sure, she rode behind her a little bit throughout the day.
But some witness that saw something at night? Are we sure?
And you telling me she's just so good at murder, this sweet girl who's never been in trouble? No real trouble.
This single mother taking care of her child while going through nursing school?
She came and she plotted a murder and did it so good that y'all couldn't find any evidence tying her back?
Come on, Judge.
Come on. And the prosecution says, 1, there's a witness that saw her. But 2, she lies. She lies about not being there. Then she's there. Then she's in her boyfriend's car. Then she's in her car and picked her boyfriend up and brought him over there. And then maybe he's driving another car beside her and then did this with it. It's so convoluted. She's told so many stories that all she's proven is that we can't trust her.
Right.
With those arguments, the judge said she's involved. To what degree she's involved, that's not my determination to make. I just have to make the determination on the probable cause that she's involved and her hands are all over it. So you know what he said to do? He said, take that shit to trial, bitch. Take that shit to trial, bitch. Take that shit to trial, bitch. Take that shit to trial.
The trial was set for December 4th, 2023, and the judge was Judge Shannon Walker. Now, Gabrielle's attorney was Lillian Diallo, and according to Lillian, this was a weak case. As Taz said in pre-trial, she was doing the same thing at the trial. She said it was a weak case. It's nothing more than he said, she said. And if it's he said, she said, that is not enough to hold up in the court of law. There's no tangible evidence. You can't place my client at the scene. Yeah, you see her car, but do you see her? Exactly.
You know what was really bothering me about her and her argument? She kept saying, why would this girl do all this for a man who wasn't even just dating her? I'm like, girl, we see this every day.
We see it every day. Also, you're not even taking into account that she was pregnant by him and the emotional attachment that you can get to somebody. Even if he didn't know, she's probably like attached. I could see it. And they're like, listen, nothing in Gabrielle's past would suggest that she's capable of something like this. Like, she's never been arrested. She's never been in any type of trouble. She's had a rough upbringing where the odds were stacked against her, and she still overcame all of that. So if she can do that, then it sounds like a person that is an active member of society that wouldn't do something so heinous. And while we're talking about people doing things that are heinous, y'all need to continue to look at Travis, because if you look at his background, Travis is violent. Travis has choked my client. Travis has, again, had his own mama as a hostage, which I still need more about that. I still need more about that. And then Gabrielle gets up and she testifies in her own defense. And she says, I am a lot of things, but a murderer, I am not. She said, Kabria and I, we hung out a lot. We went bowling, we went skating, we went to the movies, went out to eat. Like, this is not somebody that I would just hurt. Now, the prosecution was led by Assistant Prosecutor Mike Glenn, and the prosecution, they presented a lot of evidence. A, the burner phone. B, the surveillance cameras. C, the three different statements to the police. And they theorized that she bought the burner phone from the Walmart, like the Walmart surveillance camera show, and she used that burner phone to lure Kabria into that intersection. Whether she said that she needed help, wanted to talk, needed the nursing notes, well, however she did it, she got Kabria there. And from there, they got into an argument. She got enraged and ultimately killed Kabria with a 9mm gun. They also said that maybe Gabrielle didn't want to kill Kabria. Maybe that wasn't her intent that day. But maybe she got so mad, so enraged with their argument that she decided to pull out her weapon and shoot her once, hide, and then shoot her again. That's real rage if I've ever heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Gabrielle was upset with the fact that Kabria was pregnant. Maybe she felt like her pregnancy was going to solidify that relationship with Travis, and now that she didn't have it and Kabria does, it just sent her over the edge in a way that we just can't understand because we're not in that situation. They also had eyewitnesses testify, and he definitely said that he saw a woman that looked like that woman right there sitting at the table, and that he heard the argument. He saw the gunshot. He saw the hiding in the other gunshot. And the jury is taking all of this in. And on December 12th of 2023, they find her guilty of first-degree murder and assault on a pregnant woman causing a miscarriage.
As far as this point is concerned, the jury got it right, and you're going to get every day that you deserve. So one count of murder in the first degree, the court's going to sentence you to serve life without parole.
So she had her sentencing on January 5th. At the sentencing, Kabria's dad was there, and I think he was just a little too emotional. He had his daughter Tiffany read his impact statement.
I would love to have more grandkids. We love being a part of Kabria's world and expected for her to have a full and happy life. But now the closest we can get to her is just to visit her grave every day. No punishment that you receive will ever compare to the pain and torture that you have inflicted upon us. There is no real justice, only incarceration for a sick individual monster.
Tiffany then read some words of her own.
Kabria will be deeply missed. Her spirit, her energy. Not a day goes by that we all do not think about her or miss her presence. Our nephew was supposed to be here. My son doesn't have his cousin to play with.
And as these words are sinking in, then Gabrielle speaks. And she says,
Kabria and I, we hung out a lot. We went bowling, skating, to the movies, out to eat. I am a lot of things, but a murderer, I am not.
Judge wasn't buying it. Jury wasn't buying it. Ain't nobody buying it. The judge said, as far as this court is concerned, the jury got it right. And you're going to get every day that you deserve. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole and got an additional 15 years for the assault on a pregnant woman causing a miscarriage. Whew. So she's there, gonna stay there, will always be there.
Yes, you will.
And Travis was never charged with any connection to this crime, although many members of Kabria's family and law enforcement think that he was the ultimate mastermind behind it all. And that is the story of Gabrielle Brantley.
Whew. All right, y'all. It's time for...
Well, I'm not black. I'm OJ.
I ain't do it, but if I did, this is how I would have got away with it.
I ain't do it, but if I did, girl, find you a nigga that you can have to yourself.
Yep. If they're not loyal beforehand, what makes you think they're going to be loyal? Oh, you caught me cheating. All right, let's be polyamorous.
Right, like, let's keep it up.
No. I ain't do it, but if I did, if you're going to buy a trap phone, you need to go to like the corner store, not Walmart.
I ain't do it, but if I did, why are you calling yourself so many times from that phone?
I don't know. And it makes me think that maybe Travis was involved and he was calling her.
So you do. That's my question for everybody.
Do you think that he...
It's got to be a poll on the episode.
Yeah,
Was Travis involved?
I think he was. And he may not have known that she was pregnant, but maybe...
If he didn't know that she was pregnant, I don't see him having a motive to kill her.
But old girl was pregnant.
And he let her live. That's why I don't see Travis being involved. Because if it's true that the pregnancy was a secret, what you killing her for?
But also, if she did, he may not have known. Yeah, if he didn't know,
then what's the motive? Why kill her? He having his cake.
Maybe
and
Gabrielle lied to him and told him something, and because he lied to him, he had a motive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it, but if I did, if you meet somebody on campus and they're not enrolled in any classes, do not talk to them. That goes for everybody.
Unless you're looking for a plug.
Unless you're looking for a plug. That is it. If they don't, and really, honestly, get a plug that's off campus. Don't get a plug that lives in the dorms. Don't get a plug that be lurking on campus. Get you a plug that live off campus.
Don't make shit hot. I ain't do it, but if I
lying
did.
3 times.
I ain't do it, but if I did, why you had to follow her the whole day? Like, you should have just, if you planned on sneaking her after work, just follow after work. Or
Ask
if
her
you
how her
had
day
the
is
trap
going.
phone to lure her, why you gotta follow her to lure her?
You could have been like, hey girl, what are you doing today? Oh my gosh, you work? Where you work at? For real? We should hang out. What time you getting off?
You know?
And then had a plan to meet her. Then her parents wouldn't have gone looking for her.
Maybe not so soon, because then with the parents always checking in, had she had plans, she would have told
Oh
them.
yeah, she would have known.
She just wasn't the right victim, girl. Her family loved her too much.
You can't. Them daddy's girls. And I'm sure her dad is like now just like on top of his other girls with their big grown age because he just can't lose another one.
Yeah, so I really wonder, like, I think I ain't do it, but if I did, I think I would have played more on that miscarriage. But also that would have meant she had to be honest with herself and say that she did it. But
yeah. But I definitely think because it's such an emotional toll finding out you're pregnant and then finding out that you're not going to have the child, like, especially if you've accepted it, if you're happy about it, all those things, and finding out that you're not going to have the child is
I think she would have still been
devastating.
convicted, but I think she could have probably avoided life. Like,
yeah, she probably could have got some empathy.
yeah.
Goodness
At
gracious.
least parole.
I
shit.
would have at least, if you know that you couldn't implicate Travis, I would have asked for a plea deal where you had to confess, go ahead and confess, and maybe you could have got like manslaughter. Maybe your emotions got so ahead of you that you pulled out the gun. Maybe y'all got into an argument and she's a black belt. She hit me first. I don't know. Like, if you're gonna lie good.
It was just, girl,
Not it.
you should just let that nigga go.
All right. You got any more? Let's go ahead and read some reviews and go on
Parole,
about our
no,
parole and she's got life.
Yeah, I mean, she got life, but she got life without parole.
She did all that lying that I wouldn't
If
have
you
even
still
given her
can't,
parole.
you still can't be honest about it. Like,
Yeah.
you can't never get parole without admitting that you did the crime.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? This one is interesting. It's those states' rights because here's another case where she was pregnant and the fetus ended up passing away, but she got assault on a pregnant woman resulting in a miscarriage and she didn't get 2 murder sentences. Like, our last case where she got 2 life sentences because of that. And it just goes
She
to
just
show
got
that
15 for that.
she got 15 for that.
And
But
it's weird because they're saying resulting in a miscarriage.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm wondering if it has to do like maybe the baby survived for some time. You know how sometimes they'll keep a mom like as a vegetable to finish the pregnancy?
I don't think they would have been able to do that because she was laid face down on the ground.
Mhm.
And so maybe they just called it a miscarriage because
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's a
maybe
different state. It's Michigan.
I don't know.
Because I know down south, you probably would have got, if it was Georgia or Alabama,
I'm
or
sure she
Florida,
would've
you
had the
got
2.
2 life sentences for that. States' rights is very interesting. Know
Isn't
your
it?
laws. Know your laws. You better know your laws. If you don't, you'll be eating in your sleep. All right, y'all. This is the part of the show where we do our Black owned ad. If you have a small business and you would like it to be featured on our show, make sure that you shoot us an email at sisterswhokillpodcast@gmail.com, and Taz will get back to you with all of the info that you need. All right? sisterswhokillpodcast@gmail.com. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and read some reviews and get on with our day. If you'd like to leave us a review, please do so. You can leave us a 5-star and/or written review wherever you're listening or watching us, and you may hear your review on the show. You got one?
This one says, the best true crime podcast. I've listened to quite a few true crime podcasts, and most of them either leave me feeling paranoid or full of unanswered questions. But with Sisters Who Kill, I know I'm getting the full story from beginning to end. You guys break down every case in such depth and intention. No one else does it like Moran Taz. This is hands down my favorite true crime podcast.
Thank you. All right, this one says, y'all real life, my homegirls. 5 stars. Y'all done got me through breakups, divorce, evictions, and living in my car. I love y'all seriously, but did y'all see how banged up Evelyn was? Danny tore her up. The people at the house was like, turn them loose. But seriously, you guys are the bomb. TBH, you cute and you can dress. Rate BMS. What does rate BMS mean?
Am I old?
All right, we don't know what that means because we're clearly aunties and mothers now. So if you guys, like I said, if you want to, please leave us written reviews so you can tell somebody that you enjoy the show, and we will tell them as well.
Oh, let me read it. Broke my scale. So rating, you broke the scale.
Got it. Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, for real. Make sure that you keep up with us. You can follow us on YouTube, Sisters Who Kill Podcast. You can find us anywhere. Sisters Who Kill Pod, Sisters Who Kill Podcast, wherever. Patreon.com/Sisters Who Kill, where we're putting up extra content for you all. Just a little time with us. Anything else, friend?
Talk this, we talk back.
Bye.